Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
This is Teacher Layla here. I hope that you are all doing well, inshallah. I want to create these videos to make sure that you don't forget everything that you've learned at Sunday school, and don't forget your Arabic letters and how to read Arabic. Also, I want to make sure you don't get bored at home and you continue learning new things. So, in this video, I'll be reviewing the Arabic letters. Maybe you remember them all, maybe you forgot a few, and maybe you're going to learn some new ones today. So let's go through the Arabic letters. Bismillah. So, our very first letter is Alif, but on top of it you will see that there is a Hamza on top. The Hamza is a separate letter from Alif, but the Hamza will often sit on other letters like the Alif. An example of a word that begins with the letter Alif is Allah. Now, for the next letter, we have the letter Ba. Ba has a dot underneath. Ba, you'll know, is the first letter of Bismillah. The next letter we have looks very similar to the letter Ba. It is Ta. Ta has two dots on top. A word that begins with Ta is taqwa. We also have tilawa, reciting Quran. The next letter we have is Tha. Tha has three dots on top. A word that begins with Tha is thawab, rewards or good deeds. The next letter we have is Jim. Jim has a dot in its belly, as you will notice. A word that begins with Jim is Jannah. We also have Jahannam. Jannah is paradise, and Jahannam is hell. The next letter that we have is Ha. Ha. This is much stronger than the letter H. It's not a ha, it's a ha. You should feel it in your throat. Ha, ha. A word that begins with ha is Hajj. The next letter after ha looks similar, but it has a dot on top, and it is Kha. Kha. Kha has a dot on top, and it has a very strong sound from the throat, as if you're trying to get a frog out of your throat. Kha, 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 kha. A word that begins with the letter Kha is khutbah, which you'll hear on the Friday prayer, the khutbah. The letter after the Kha is the letter Dal. Dal almost looks like it's somebody sitting down. A word that starts with the letter Dal is Deen. The next letter we have after Dal is Dhal. It looks very similar, but it has a dot on top. A word that begins with the letter Dhal is Dhikr. Dhikr. After Dhal, we have the letter Ra. Ra. A word that begins with Ra is a Ramadan, which is coming up. We also have Rasul. The Prophet ﷺ was a Rasul, a messenger. After Ra, we have the letter Zay, which looks very similar but has a dot on top. Zay. A word that begins with Zay is Zakah. We give money to the poor, which is called Zakah. After Zay, we have Seen. Seen. A word that begins with the letter Seen is Sunnah. When we follow what the Prophet used to do when he was alive and follow his practices, that is called the Sunnah. The letter after Seen is Sheen. It looks just like the Seen, but it has three dots on top. Don't get it mixed up with that. The word that begins with Sheen is Shahada. When we say that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The next letter is Sad. It's a very strong letter, Sad. The word that begins with Sad is Saum. When we fast in Ramadan, that is called Saum. The letter after Sad is Dad. It's very strong. Bald. Bald. A word that begins with bald is duha, which you can pray in the time between after sunrise and salat. Al-dhuhr, it is a prayer before salat al-dhuhr in the middle of the day. The next letter is ta. Ta. It's like a strong T. Ta. A word that begins with ta is tahara, cleanliness and being clean. The letter that comes after ta is dha. Dha. We pray salat al-dhuhr in the afternoon. Dha for dhuhr. After that comes ayn. Ayn. We have ayn for asr and isha. We pray those two. One is the mid-afternoon prayer, salat al-asr, and one is the prayer before you go to bed, isha. After ayn, we have ghayn. Ghayn has a dot on top. It looks just like ayn, but it has a dot. A word that begins with the letter ghayn is ghusl. When you take a bath, perhaps on the morning of Eid, ghusl. After ghayn, we have fa. Do you know what salah begins with the letter fa? It's fajr. Fajr begins with fa. After fa, we have qaf. Qaf for Quran. After qaf, we have the letter kaf. Kaf. Do you know what the word kitab means? It means book. And we call the Quran Kitabullah, the book of Allah. After kaf, we have lam. Lam. Have you heard of Laylatul Qadr, the very special night in Ramadan? It's a night that is equal to praying for 1,000 months. After lam, we have mim. Mim for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our prophet. And we also have maghrib. Maghrib prayer, which is after sunset, which begins with mim. After mim, we have noon. Noon for Nabi, which means prophet. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a Nabi. After noon, we have ha. Ha for Huda, which is guidance, and for Hilal, the crescent moon that we see when we're waiting for Ramadan to begin. After ha, we have wow. Wow. Wudu begins with the letter waw when you wash before prayer. Last but not least, we have the letter ya. Ya. Have you heard of Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Day of Judgment, when Allah will, insha'Allah, reward the good people and punish the bad people? Yawm begins with the letter ya. And that's all the letters that we have for now. Stay tuned for the next video to review all of the letters. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.